na karo na farko babanmu ne da martaba shehun damaturu, wanda a daidai wannan lokaci za mu yi amfani da wannan dama don mu mika abin magana mu kuma gayyaci wato shi chairman na wannan occasion din. Tana nisa ce da na kafa ba.
Zai taso ne saboda masu kyamara. Zai taso ne. Zai taso. Darka yawwa kyamara sai.
Saya wannan dugo? Saya dugo? أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المرسلين سيدنا مولانا مصطفى محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد. His Excellency the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, my good friend and a brother, Senator Abdulkadir Bala Muhammad, Kauran Bauchi and by extension Kauran Dola Usmani, ably and capably represented by the Honorable Commissioner of Religious Affairs, His Royal Highness the Emir of Das, my friend and my in-law, Dr. Usman Biliabin Usman, the representative of His Royal Highness the Emir of Bauchi, my close associate, friend, brother, ably represented by the Children of Bauchi, the initiator, the executive director, MLF, Hajia Bilkisu, Abubakar Sambo, the representative of His Royal Highness, the Emir of Wase, my very good friend, the chairperson or the chairman technical section, Professor Saadia, other distinguished invited guests, numerous to mention, permit me to stand on the already established due to constraints of time. Let me begin by thanking the Lord Almighty Allah, the Lord of mankind and the entire universe, for breathing our lives onto us and making it possible for us to attend this epoch-making historic occasion. The MLF National Conference 2026 an official 6 series transformational books taking place here in the historic city of Bauchi, the field of tourism, with the theme Building a Nation of Integrity, Ethical Leadership, Civic Responsibility, and Moral Renewal for Sustainable Development. As critical stakeholders and custodian of national values, culture, and heritage, with enormous responsibility to bear on the nation, I feel honored and most highly delighted in sharing the joy and pleasure of this moment, aimed at creating greater national consciousness towards moral reawakening, reorientation, and attainment of responsible and accountable leadership based on integrity and promotion of moral values and ethical values. It is, however, pertinent to note that the nation is gradually drifting into lowliness with increasing propensity for immoral acts among youth. Some leaders are no longer accountable to their subjects. Corruption and social vices is replacing good governance. Youth are increasingly becoming drug addicts. Insecurity is taking center stage. All these vices and many more call for national value reorientation towards building a society devoid of crimes and corruption, with respect for elders and people in position of authority and potential to grow as a nation to attain an ideal society with a brighter future. That is what we are expecting for our great country, Nigeria. Government and national and state levels should prioritize education as a cornerstone of their administration towards creating greater social awareness and in making our youth becoming useful with ability to contribute to the society. Leaders should lead by example as compassionate, humble, just, and honest for the younger generations to emulate. Parents should not shy away from their civic responsibility or proper child upbringing. On a final but a very important note, let me thank the organizers of this great occasion for demonstrating adequate commitment with great wisdom and foresight, not only in conceiving the idea of this great conference, but in making it a reality. All praises and glory be to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all looking forward for a continuing mentorship. You may please wish to accept the assurance of our support now and always. Our doors are always open to foster meaningful collaboration. Wishing all participants happy and fruitful engagement. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please let's appreciate once again Alanguru, let's appreciate Chairman of the occasion. Alanguru. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, quickly, next is a goodwill message. And because of time, we are advising our speakers to try and be brief as possible. And permit me to invite Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello, Chairman, Court of Conduct Beirut, CBB, for a goodwill message. Please let's appreciate the Chairman of the Cabinet. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please permit me to stand on the 16th protocol. Distinguished guests, organizers, and participants of the MLF Learning Foundation National Conference 2026. Good morning. It is a profound honor and privilege for me to stand before you today as a special guest. I sincerely thank the organizers, She Mentor Integrity Cycle, Ethical and Moral Reservation Center, and Milan Learning Foundation for this kind invitation. The theme of this conference is very timely and relevant. Building a nation of integrity, ethical leadership, civic responsibility, and moral renewal for sustainable development. Integrity is not just a personal virtue, it is the foundation of good governance, public trust, and sustainable development. As chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, I see daily how important ethical leadership and moral renewal are in our national life. Our mandate at the Code of Conduct Bureau is very clear: to promote and enforce ethical standards in public service, prevent conflict of interest, corruption, and also to ensure public officers remain accountable to the Nigerians. To the author of this official 6 series, Ms. Bilkisu Abubakar Sambo, I commend you for your great efforts. These books will shape mindsets and inspire a new generation of ethical leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, true national transformation begins with personal and institutional integrity. Let us use this conference not only to discuss ideas, but to commit to practical steps that will strengthen our ethical infrastructure. Let every one of us here live resolved to be an agent of positive change in our families, workplaces, communities, and public institutions. On behalf of the Code of Conduct Bureau and all well-meaning Nigerians, I congratulate the organizers and wish you a successful and impactful conference. Thank you very much, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you. Please, let's appreciate him once again, please. Next on the goodwill message. Let's appreciate as I welcome on stage the Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, that's the Commandant, and his focus is strengthening the integrity system, ethical leadership, and national transformation. So let's appreciate the representative of the Commandant of the ICPC.
The Executive Governor of the state, Senator Balama, the chairman of this occasion, and indeed all the royal fathers here present, the commissioner representing the governor, the chairman of the host of the occasion, and here we give our workers sample. All law enforcement evidence, the military armor, the military armor corps, the students, the youth, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This is a keynote address speech by the Honorable Chairman of Independent Corporate Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, the person of Dr. Musa Alama Yusuf, the National Conference on Ethical Leadership, Integrity, and Moral Renewal, organized by Vidal Learning Foundation and the Ethical and Moral Rejuvenation Center, held at the International Conference Center, which my name is Mahadi Mohamed Lawal, the Resident Commissioner of ICPC for Bauchi and Gombe. I'm representing the Honorable Chairman. It is with great pleasure and a profound sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to this significant national conference that explains moral feelings and ethical surgery, especially in institutional leadership and national governance. The crafting of the topic for discussion, which is hinged on building a nation of integrity, ethical leadership, civic responsibility, and moral renewal for sustainable development, portrays the concurrent national needs and panacea to socio-economic incongruities, which all of us have an obligation to fight for an utter societal rejuvenation. The notion of integrity suggests the essential foundation of a noble person and stable society. It requires aligning one's speech with actions, possessing the courage to do what is right and rejecting profit on hand through righteousness. Ethical leadership is not just the knowledge of right and wrong or good and bad, but it is the exclusive application of the knowledge in governance. It is the foundational virtue representing empathy, compassion, and love for others. It is the internal disposition to care about the well-being of the humanity. Ethical leadership is axiomatically the moral disposition to do what is objectively right and just, rather than what is merely convenient or profitable. It envisages the outward expression of respect and the social good of society, encompasses manners, societal norms, and ceremonial rites that structure daily interactions. Ethical leadership connotes the ability to discern and judge right from wrong, fairness in others' action, and the proper application of virtues. It is unequivocally the virtue of honesty and keeping one's word, which is essential to maintaining healthy nation, relationships, and political integrity. Civic responsibility is intrinsically tied to the state. It is rather philosophical that to be fully human, one must actively participate in ruling and being ruled, cultivating virtues that support human flourishing and the common good. It is a rational and moral duty to uphold just laws and treat fellow citizens as ends in themselves rather than means, which suggests being an instrument of peace, not a threat to the people. The contextual consensus of civic responsibility is made four main pillars of responsible citizenship, which are critical scrutiny, which is responsible citizens hold the duty to question prevailing narratives, hold institutions accountable and apply rational inquiry to public policies rather than offering blind obedience. 2. Deliberate discourse. They engage in reasoned public debate, being open to diverse perspectives and pursuing truth to strengthen democratic governance. 3. Active participation. They participate in public life, including voting, community organizing, and public service. 4. Rejection of injustice. This is the contextual justification to peacefully not align with unjust laws. which they violate fundamental moral rights to justice. And to build a nation of integrity, ladies and gentlemen, requires patriotic contributions, sacrifice, unmitigated commitment towards national growth. With the above national construction tools, a drive to prosperity is guaranteed, which envelops political stability, social harmony, and economic development. The ICPC, ladies and gentlemen, its contribution to building a nation of integrity, ethical culture, and leaders, and among leaders, and a robust civic responsibility came up with a policy framework in partnership of the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the National Orientation Agency, which is the National Ethics and Integrity Policy, launched on 28 September 2020, with the following core values: human dignity, voice and participation, patriotism, personal responsibility, integrity, and national unity and professionalism. It is apparently clear that to achieve moral renewal, ethical leadership, and a nation in which integrity is symbolic, preventive anti-corruption measures are dispensably applicable to deter the acts of corruption from happening. It is part of the mandate of the ICPC from prevention, public education, and awareness to enforcement. Prevention is always the best measure, and it is usually said it is better than cure. In conclusion, I would like to posit that ethical leadership is a key foundational beacon of peace, growth, and development. No society can develop and no democracy can endure without purposeful ethical leadership. Those aspiring to occupy leadership positions should be recognized as people of integrity, humility, capacity, competence, inviolable track records, vision, dignity, energy, and innovation to manage the complex challenges of society. I thank the organizers of this event and appreciate everyone for your kind attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Dr. Musa Adamwa Musa, Chairman ICPC. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Please let's appreciate him once again. Please. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while the representative of the ICPC was delivering his remarks, this occasion has also witnessed one of the movers and shakers of Bauchi State, the number one citizen as far as lawmaking is concerned. The policies and programs of His Excellency are not just being executed, but because by the law, there are people to scrutinize and say, yes, go on. Please permit me to welcome the Speaker of Bauchi State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Abubakar Wai Suleiman. Still in our midst, we also have the clerk from the State House of Assembly, and she is Barrister Rukaya Jalo. We also have in our midst the Permanent Secretary Political Affairs, all the way from Yobe State, Bamena Santa. Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, next, on the final note on keynote address in line with this program of event, permit me to invite the Commandant of Nigerian Army Armor Corps, who is ably represented by the Director of Standard and Evaluation, National Headquarters in person of Colonel C.U. Okeke for their remarks. Please let's appreciate the council.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, our royal fathers, the convener, Hajia Bilkisu Sambo, kindly permit me to stand on the already existing protocol as established. I have the honor of representing the Commander, Armor Corps, Major General U.B. Abubakar, who is unavoidably absent due to official engagements outside the state. However, I have his personal keynote address for this occasion. So please, whenever you hear me say I, understand that it is the general that is speaking. Thank you. Let me begin this keynote address by quoting some of the words by Martin Luther King Jr. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. This profound insight captures the essence of today's gathering. It is a privilege to address this distinguished audience on a theme of national importance: building nation of integrity, ethical leadership, civic responsibility, and moral renewal for sustainable development. These principles are not mere slogans. They are enduring pillars of nation building. The Learning Foundation has consistently championed these values through educational programs, advocacy initiatives, and community engagements. This keynote address therefore highlights these four pillars and their relevance to sustainable development. Integrity remains the foundation of every prosperous society. It demands honesty, transparency, and accountability in both public and private life. Leaders who demonstrate integrity inspire confidence and public trust. The Learning Foundation nurtures integrity by promoting ethical values, responsible citizenship, and accountability among young people and community stakeholders. Such efforts help create a culture where ethical conduct guides decision and actions. Ethical leadership goes beyond personal character. It is a commitment to serve others with fairness and responsibility. Ethical leaders place collective interest above personal gain. And I must repeat that. Ethical leaders place collective interest above personal gain. They promote justice, equity, and inclusion. The Learning Foundation advances ethical leadership through mentorship programs, leadership training, and initiatives that encourage service-driven leadership. These efforts help develop leaders who influence society positively. Civic responsibility remains essential to national progress. Every citizen has a role in strengthening democratic values and social cohesion. Civic participation empowers communities and promotes sustainable development. The Learning Foundation reinforces civic responsibility by encouraging volunteerism, community service, civic education, and active citizen engagement. These initiatives inspire individuals to contribute meaningfully to the society. Moral renewal is equally important in addressing contemporary challenges. It calls for a return to values that strengthen human relationships and social harmony. Compassion, empathy, respect, and selflessness remain indispensable virtues. The Learning Foundation promotes moral renewal through character building programs and value-oriented educational initiatives. Such efforts encourage citizens to pursue development with purpose, dignity, and responsibility. Sustainable development connects all these principles. Development must protect our environment, preserve our values, and strengthen our communities. It requires long-term thinking and responsible action. The Learning Foundation recognizes that sustainable development thrives where integrity, ethical leadership, civic responsibility, and moral renewal are deeply embedded. These values ensure that progress benefits both present and future generations. As we advance on this collective journey, we must recognize our shared responsibility. Lasting change begins with individual commitment and collective action. So whether as educators, policymakers, business leaders, or community members, our contributions all matter. The Learning Foundation's collaborative approach demonstrates how partnerships can drive meaningful transformation and national progress. Let us therefore commit ourselves to these ideals. Let us uphold integrity, practice ethical leadership, embrace civic responsibility, and pursue moral renewal. Together we can build a stronger, more just, and sustainable nation for future generations. As we conclude, let us reflect on the timeless words of Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. This enduring message reminds us that national transformation begins with personal responsibility. When integrity guides our actions and ethical leadership shapes our decisions, civic responsibility defines our conduct, and moral renewal strengthens our character. It therefore amounts that sustainable development becomes not merely an aspiration, but a lasting reality. Accordingly, let us pledge to uphold these ideals in our daily lives and inspire others, especially our youth, to do the same. And together we can lay the groundwork for a brighter, more equitable, and sustainable future. Thank you, and God bless our nation.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate him once again, please. To round it up, Your Excellency, permit me quickly to also invite the Commissioner of Police, Multi-State Command, for his own key address, and he is ably represented by ACP Musa Mohammed. ACP Musa Mohammed. Please, let's appreciate him, please.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, our Royal Fathers, other invited dignitaries, permit me as well to recognize and appreciate the presence of my mentor, CP Alima, Ibrahim Abdullahi, retired. You are welcome, sir. The Commissioner of Police, Baltimore State Command, sends his warm greetings and profound appreciation to the Mineral Learning Foundation for convening this critical national conversation. It is a privilege to stand here today as a representative of the Nigerian Police Force to speak on a subject that is the very soul of our institution: ethical leadership and national development. The Nigerian Police Force is the primary agency responsible for the internal security and the rule of law. However, for a nation to achieve sustainable development, its citizens must first feel safe, not just from physical harm, but from injustice, abuse of power, and corruption. This is where ethical leadership becomes non-negotiable. In the Nigerian Police Force, we have come to understand that integrity is not a secondary virtue. It is the foundation upon which public trust is built. Without integrity, a police officer is merely an armed civilian. Without ethics, we lose the cooperation of the very communities we are sworn to protect. Ethical leadership in our institution is driving a fundamental transformation. A shift from a force mentality to a service mentality. This transformation is anchored on the following pillars. Leadership by example. True ethical leadership begins at the top. Senior officers must model the behavior they expect from their subordinates. When the leadership demonstrates transparency, accountability, and respect for the law, it cascades down the ranks. It is not enough to give orders. We must show the way through our own conduct. Secondly, we are strengthening internal disciplinary mechanisms to ensure that officers who deviate from the professional code of conduct are held accountable. We are also embracing technology, digital reporting systems, and transparent complaint mechanism to build a system where integrity is the default, not the exception. Thirdly, ethical leadership means listening to the people. Our community policy framework ensures that we are not an occupying force, but partners in safety. We engage traditional leaders, religious leaders, and youth organizations because sustainable development requires a collective effort. When the community trusts us, they cooperate with us, and security becomes a shared responsibility. Let me be clear. Sustainable development cannot be achieved in an environment of lawlessness, impunity, or distrust. Investors will not invest where justice is uncertain. Citizens will not participate in governance where they fear the enforcers of the law. Therefore, the Nigerian Police Force views our ethical transformation as a direct contribution to the national development agenda. A secure nation is a developing nation. A just society is a prosperous society. When we uphold the highest standard of ethics and leadership, we are not just building a better police force, we are building a better Nigeria. However, we cannot do this alone. I call on all stakeholders represented and present here today. To the academia and policy experts, Professor Adam, continue to research, critique, and guide our reforms with evidence-based solutions. To our colleagues in the Nigerian Army, Partner with us in sensitizing the public. Let us continue to strengthen our interagency collaboration to ensure national security is seamless and professional. To the National Orientation Agency, partners with us in sensitizing the public on civic responsibilities and the mutual respect between citizens and the law enforcement. To the private sector, support us with technology, training, and capacity building initiatives that enhance our professionalism. And to our religious leaders, you are the moral compass of our nation. Speak truth to power, remind us of our higher calling, and help us to bridge the gap in the institution and the people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian Police Force is committed to the moral renewal of our nation. We are committed to the ethical edge, not just as a slogan, but as a daily practice. We are ready to partner with every stakeholder in this room to build a Nigeria where integrity is the currency of governance, where justice is blind, and where sustainable development is the inheritance of every citizen. Thank you for your attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Please, let's appreciate the ACP Musa. Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite the Chief Speaker of this session, Professor Ahmed Adamu, who is going to focus on the academia and public policy, the topic ethical leadership and national transformation. Please, let's appreciate him once again, even though he is not around. Excuse me. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, before I begin, I would like to warm up the room. Just last week, I was in Rwanda, and I learned one sentence. And the sentence says, Ushobora kubikora. Ushobora kubikora. Meaning that, yes, we can. Meaning that we can do it. So I want you to sing with me when I say Ushobora kubikora, and sing with me together. Ushobora kubikora. I'm not hearing. Ushobora kubikora. That is the meaning that we can do it as people. We can do it as individuals. Because anytime I go to Rwanda, I see classical example of ethical leadership. If you go to Rwanda, is akin to reading the entire 6 books that Bilkisu Sambo has written. Because when you read the books of ethical leadership, you see words. But when you visit Rwanda, you see practical ethical leadership. A country that was once united as one people, never divided, speak one language, one religion, one ethnicity, no division, united people together. But division started coming in. First, they started dividing themselves into 2 categories, or rather 3. You either become Hutu, or Tutsi, or Twa. If you are Hutu, that means you are a farmer. If you are Tutsi, that means you are a herder. If you are Twa, it means that you are a hunter. But Hutus are the majority. because there are more farmers than the herders. But herders are richer than the farmers. And farmers are the people that toil and work hard in the farm, while herders get rich from their country. But when the European came, they saw that this division is not rational enough. Because in this season you can be a Tutsi, and the next season you can be a Hutu. It's not like a steel wall that you cannot cross. It's something that you can make a choice, it's economic division. But when the Europeans came to Rwanda, they said, we cannot rule you without dividing you. So the first element of breaking ethical leadership is division. And guess what the Belgians did? When Belgians met the United Rwanda people, they decided dividing them into racial classes. Imagine people speaking one language, one religion, one tribe, same color, same ancestors. But now Europeans started dividing them into race. They said, if you are tall, light-skinned, and thin just like me, you are automatically Tutsi. But if you are fat, short, and dark, you are automatically what? Hutu. And they were shocked. Do you know what? They started measuring the skull of people. If your head is so big, you are Hutu. They started measuring the nose. If you have a very long and pointed nose, you are Tutsi. They said if anyone that is tall, light-skinned, and thin, it's a sign of smartness, intelligence, that these people should be the leaders. If you are not this tall, you are meant to be in the farm to slave and toil. And they started giving people ID cards. They say you must carry your ID card to show that you are Tutsi or you are Hutu. And that's how Rwanda was divided. And people, they started hating each other to the extent that Tutsi continued to rule. They are the minority, but they ruled the majority. And the majority Hutu, they grew resentment against the Tutsis, and they started fighting back. So many Tutsis were killed, some of them exiled to Uganda, Tanzania, and neighboring countries. But the then president said, okay, let's come to unity, peace. Whoever exiled, let them come back to Rwanda. And guess what happened? The Hutu extremists, they said, before the Tutsis are exiled, before they return back to our country, let's kill them all. We have to kill them because they are coming back to kill us. They opened a radio station. They started calling them Inyengi. Inyengi means cockroach. If you see any Tutsi, kill them. Like the way you kill cockroach. They opened radio stations. They were mentioning addresses and names of Tutsis. Go to this address, kill them. While the president then was arranging for peace to bring those Tutsis back to Rwanda, these extremists are planning something different. They even killed the president. Not the president of Rwanda, even the president of Tanzania. And any peacekeeping officer that wanted to enforce peace in Rwanda, they killed them all. They put roadblocks. If they catch you, you are Tutsi holding a Tutsi ID card, they will shoot you, they will kill you with machetes. They imported machetes from China. 500,000 machetes, cutlasses were imported from China just to kill people. They will stop you on the road. If you are Tutsi, they will cut you alive. Sometimes, if you are with your children, they will ask you to kill your children first before they kill you. They started moving house to house, finding Tutsis, killing them. Husbands killed wives. Neighbors killed neighbors. Teachers killed students. Cousins killed cousins. We are one people, but look at the mess that was happening in Rwanda. Rwanda became a slaughterhouse without a war. Government officials were giving them guns, bullets, machetes to go and kill Tutsis, to extinct them, eliminate them all. In 100 days, more than 1 million people were killed. Every single day, 10,000 people were killed. When they meet women that are Tutsis, they rape them. Not only they rape them, they go with people that had HIV/AIDS and ask them to rape the women. They amputate people before they kill them, slow death. Some of them ran to churches, they thought that was a safe place. They went there, they killed them all. Even right now, as you speak, the blood stain is still lingering in that church. Until when a soldier called Paul Kagame came with his soldiers, RPF, and rescue the country and build a country, a nation. But whenever I go to Rwanda, I ask myself one question: how did you make it happen in less than 30 years? Building from this agony, building from this mess, and now build one of the most prosperous and economically developed countries in the world. How? And I always ask myself this question. But when I started reading the books of Binkisu, I found my answer. Even last week, when I was in Rwanda, I asked them, how did you keep your country clean? It's one of the most cleanest countries in the world. They said every single end of the month, they have what they call Umuganda. Umuganda is one day dedicated for cleaning the entire country. Everyone must come out. Unless you are sick. If you don't come out, you'll be fined, you'll be punished. The president himself, he comes out and cleans his surroundings, everyone. They are not just doing that because they want to have a clean environment, no. They are doing that as a practical evidence, as a reminder of our individual responsibilities to keeping the country together. Because how you do one thing is how you do other things. If you have a sense of responsibility to come out once in a month to remind yourself of your civic responsibility to keep your immediate environment clean, then you are most likely to be responsible in your office, to be responsible in the traffic lights, to be responsible in your thinking. Rwanda is clean. Beautiful roads in the whole country. There is not a single nylon bag. Deep Rwanda Bible later. In the entire country, there is not a single plastic nylon bag. Even if you import it from Nigeria, they will stop you at the airport and ask you to remove it. No a single plastic bag. No pure water short-sighted bags. Everywhere is clean, everywhere is green. Every person on the bike wears their helmet. When they come to traffic lights, they respect for traffic light, even if you're the only one at night. Sense of responsibility, civic responsibility. I asked some Rwandans, I said, wouldn't you want to become the president? Why one person lead you forever? They said they don't want to be presidents. Even it means collecting the power from Paul Kagame and giving it to them, they said they don't want it. Why? Because they are happy. There is a trust. There is a trust between the leader and the people. They asked me, why are you in Rwanda? Is it not because of development you see? That's why you're coming to Rwanda? A Nigerian going to Rwanda and is amazed. We are 100 times richer, many times better in terms of potential for development, but we are attracted by what they were able to achieve. Their population is just like the population of Kano State. Not many people, but strong belief and civic and ethical responsibilities. No one will say, I want to be president because they trust and believe in the president. Development is there. If you don't have a house, government will create a house for you. Education is free. It's one of the most safest countries you can ever be. No insecurity, zero insecurity. But I ask myself, how could a country that was once filled with the smell of dead bodies could build this greatness in less than 30 years? And the answer is in ethical leadership. And that is the topic that gathers us all together. And that's what Bilkisu is championing. Let's appreciate Bilkisu for what she has been doing. When the president came on power, one of the biggest challenges is, how do I govern the people that will live together between the killers and the victims, will live together as neighbors? How can you build a country with these people? How can you rebuild a nation that was permeated by the corpses of dead people? How do you start building? In fact, trying to gather the corpses from the streets was an Herculean task. 1 million dead bodies littered on the streets. How can you bury them? Everywhere you go was smelling all over the country. They have to dig large and mass graves to put hundreds of people in a single grave and bury them. And they started building. But one of the lessons that will amaze you is not what they built, but how they built it. How did Rwanda build? They didn't build with concrete, but they built with conscience. If you want to build a nation, you don't build with blocks. You don't build it with rods, with skyscrapers. You build it with the mindset of the people, with their conscience. And that's when you can have a rapid and meaningful, sustainable development. One thing they've done was to abolish all their differences. Whoever declares that he is a Hutu or a Tutsi, he will be sent to jail. No more Tutsi, no more Hutu, no more Twa. There is only one Rwanda people. Ethical leadership is about acceptance, respecting one another's perspectives and belief that will make us to see each other as one people, united as people, pursuing our common goal. No matter how many times we do election, if we don't build the conscience, we cannot build development, meaningful one. They instituted the Kaka courts. In fact, when I went to the genocide memorial, I had to shed tears. I saw the agony, the pain. The massacre is one of the worst genocide ever happened in the world. They built the Kaka courts because there were more than 120,000 genociders that were culprits of this genocide. But how will they bring these people to justice? How will you provide justice to the victims? That's one of the biggest challenges. Courts were made local. Elders will come under the shade of the tree and deliver justice. If you are a genocider, you are a culprit, you are guilty, you confess. We were not just after punishing people, we were just after the truth, confession. And guess what? Amazing thing that happened in Rwanda was people forgave. You killed my father, you killed my mother, you killed my siblings, and I forgive you. Can you imagine the bravery of these great people? I have a friend, Daniel, who married from the family that killed his parents. They have moved on. They erased their past. They're looking at the future. And let me tell you the bravery of these great people. It didn't just come from leaders. It didn't just come from talks. It came from collective individual resolve to make things better, to erase that bad story. All of them, they became shameful. They became ashamed of what they have done. And they don't want the world to remember them by what they have done. And they want a new story about Rwanda. So that when people hear the name Rwanda, will not think of genocide, but will think of greatness. That was their collective reason, and that was their collective motivation to do this greatness in 30 years. Not just because Paul Kagame was better leader. Even if Paul Kagame was to be brought to Nigeria in the same setting where we will not achieve this greatness. But it was out of the collective resolve to build a nation that will erase that bad story and build a better one that they came together. And everyone was asking, what can I do to help? What can I do in my community? What can I do in my room? What can I do to help Rwanda? Because women, at that time, they wanted to kill a lot of children because they want to extinct the generation. But a lot of people survived, a lot of women survived. Women are the major survivors of the genocide. And that is why right now, Rwanda is the only country in the world that had more than 60% women in their parliaments. Why are the women? Would you clap for Rwanda? So if Rwanda can do it, then Nigeria can do it. But like I said, it begins with ethical leadership, which for me is about doing the thing that is right, that is good, even without being asked to do it. Even when there is no punishment, even when there is no reward. You just do it because you believe you want to do it. Is it a good thing when I drink a pure water, the remaining sachet, shall I throw it out of the window or shall I keep it in my car? Even if I'm going to be rewarded or not, even if someone is doing it or not. One of the things that hurt me a lot about Nigeria and Nigerians is how we litter our streets. You are chewing sugarcane, the remain, you throw it even on the clean floor. Pure water sachet, you throw it on the street. There is no proper sanitation. I can tell you there are more nylon bags than people in Bauchi. Go on the streets. Everywhere is leather. And no leather will fly from a house to the streets. It must be done by an individual, by someone. We are not responsible. If you can take responsibility for one thing, then we can become responsible for other things. It begins with one effort. So if you are experiencing social deterioration, the answer is ethical and civic responsibility. And it's about leading by example. You complain about government, you complain about the economy, you complain about everyone, but are you doing what you want to see in society? I want you to assume that the whole world is waiting for you to make the right change. You are the one to start the change. It's not, you are not waiting for others, you are not waiting for government, you are not waiting for tomorrow. It's now and you. Always bear in your mind the consequences of your action. When you want to steal that money, when you want to do corruption, when you want to collect bribery, ask yourself, what's the consequences of my action? And another perspective of ethical leadership is you imagining that there is no government. What if there is no government? How will you fix your own problem? What if there is no government? How will you fix insecurity? What if there is no government? How will you fix unemployment? Ask yourself as individuals, as people, as community, what can we do for ourselves? Imagine there is no government. Because one of our biggest challenges is we believe that the government is so powerful and that we are powerless. I'm aware. That we are powerless, we cannot make a change. It's only government that can fix the problem. But like Lord Varys in the Game of Thrones, he said, power lies where men believe power lies. If you believe power lies with the government, not you, and that's true. If you believe that power lies within you, then it is within you. Sometimes we have this kind of authority illusion that we think every problem must be solved by the government, that we are not responsible. No, the power is within you, within us as people. So our challenge, the purpose of this workshop is to ask ourselves, what responsibility can we take? And once you take responsibility, the ability to do it will come to you. The biggest challenge is we are not assuming the responsibility. Ethical leadership is about being honest to yourself, even when it is against yourself. It's about respecting everyone, irrespective of their gender, their age, their religion, their ethnicity. Don't judge people. Sometimes when I move around in the city of Abuja, depending on my appearance, That what determines what kind of respect I receive. If I drive in a very big luxury car, everyone salute me and respect me. When I drive in a small car, everyone content me and insult me. I don't deserve to be respected because you know my position or because of whatever materialism I have, but you should respect everyone irrespective of their power or position or material position. Take a decision not just because of what you will get, but based on principle. Even when it comes to casting your ballot, you don't just vote in election because the party will appoint you, because they will give you money or they are giving you money. You vote on principle. Is this the best choice? If it's the best choice for the people, for the community, for the state, then you do it. If it is not, don't do it, even if you are going to benefit. That's what ethical leadership is about. Ethical leadership is not about doing the things you want, but what is good for other people. We take it simple, but it's big. Ethical leadership is about win-win. Don't ever be a winner when you are the only one standing. You are not a winner. Because of your winning, everyone is down, you are a loser. Be a winner that is down, but because of your downfall, other people have risen. That's success. Unfortunately, the reverse is the case. If I can't get it, nobody should get it. That's bad. If I win, let everybody lose. That's very bad. So we have to have the win-win perspective. How can I win and you win? And let me tell you one thing. Ethical leadership cannot come free of charge. It must be enforced. That's why the government comes. That's why we have the security agents. Even in Rwanda, they didn't just want to do it willingly. It was enforced until it becomes their culture. Until when it becomes their habit, that if they don't do it, it becomes abnormal. And so what Rwanda has achieved is a practical evidence of what we can do as people. Someone asked me in my office 2 days ago, he said, shall I give to the country that has not given me anything? I said, yes. Don't ask what this country has given to you. Ask yourself, what can I give this country? So the problem we have as people is we focus on political leadership, not ethical leadership. We focus on election, changing party, changing leaders. How many times are we going to do election? How many times are we going to change presidents, change governors? But this change that we're looking for has not yet arrived. Our change will not come from changing elections, from elections and changing leaders. It comes from ethical leadership. And in conclusion, I tell people, I said, Nigeria cannot grow by changing presidents. The journey to Nigeria's greatness is a 50-year journey if we start doing 5 things. Even if we elect a different president, whoever we elect as a president, if these 5 things are not implemented, Nigeria will remain where we are. The journey of 50 years will not even start. Number 1 is common purpose. Are we here for the whole country? Can I sacrifice for this country? Can you sacrifice something for this country? I liken it like an elephant. Imagine a big elephant, and the leaders are on top of these elephants, and they are holding a very large, sharp cutlass, machete in their hands. And they are cutting the ears, the eyes, the legs, every part of the elephant. Because they are on top of the elephant, they are cutting the meat of the elephant. While there are people under there, the followers, they are blaming the leaders on top for cutting the flesh of the elephants. But guess what? Even the followers down there, they are holding their sharp cutlass. Because they cannot access any part of the meat of the elephant, the only part of the elephant that is available to them is the hoof of the elephant, the kofoto, and they keep cutting the hoof of the elephant because that's the only thing that is available to them. And if you put them on top, they'll even cut more flesh than the ones they complain on top. And people will complain that this elephant is not moving so fast. We have a journey ahead. But who is stopping the elephant? Don't blame the elephant. Blame the people. So common purpose. Can we preserve the elephant so that it can run faster? What can I do, everyone, to believe that this country is ours? to give, to sacrifice for. That's number one. Number two is justice. If there is no reward, there is no punishment for doing right and bad things, then Nigeria cannot grow. So this is a very long conversation, but I'm just cutting it short because of time. The third thing I want this country to do, you people, we together, we have to do, is to change our ethics and our values. The value that says the best among you, the most powerful among you, the better person among you is the one that has money and power. Now there's nothing you can be in this world apart from these two things, power and money. Once society is governed by the greed of power and money, that country will perish, will not grow. So we have to learn to respect and reward and recognize ethical conduct, to appreciate knowledge, contribution, application, impact, beyond what we recognize from power and resources. What is of power and resources and money when you cannot create impact is useless. That's number three. Number four, we have to reduce the monetary attraction in political positions. Even young people, when they are experiencing poverty, their quickest thinking is, let me contest an election so that I can get rich. Give people two choices, to do business or to go into election, to contest an election or be appointed. Majority of people choose election or political appointment because that's the quickest way to become rich. If a country we shun away from business to become rich, we want to go to politics to become rich, then we cannot have good governance. And then lastly, very broad and very controversial, if you like, is our population management. What I see is too many people on the streets and too much demand for infrastructure, for healthcare, for education, for all these amenities, but our resources are not matching. We are not growing to the proportion of our population. Our resources it's not growing to the proportion of the demand from our population. In every 20 years, we double our population. We're talking about 250 million people. In the next 20 years, we become 500 million Nigerians. Are we going to have a proportionate increase in infrastructure development in the next 20 years? If resources are lacking, desperation and frustrations will emerge. And the only time bomb that you are waiting to explode is frustration and desperation. And that's why I see clear reason why we have insecurity. Because of poverty, illiteracy, even in Rwanda, because of illiteracy and poverty, that's why they did that genocide. So therefore, I want to congratulate the Kisa Abubakar Sambo, because I was the first person, I think one of the first few people I read 6 books on ethical leadership. And I want everyone to read these books. They are very amazing. If you are a leader, ask yourself, what legacy are you leaving behind? Not what are you taking away. If you are a security agent, ask yourself, what can I do to uphold the responsibility vested on me? Don't be like that security agent that once a vehicle of Boko Haram people came, inside the truck was full of Boko Haram people. And then the driver gave him 100,000 naira bribe so that he should not check the inside of the car. And that security agent asked himself, shall I collect this bribe or I shall not? Because if you collect the bribe, that means you will not check the car. So the driver is trying to stop him from checking the car, and then the security agent remembered that the school where his daughter attends, they called him a night before, asking him to pay for his daughter's school fees. But this security agent didn't have the money. And then he remembered he needed to pay his child's school fees. So he reluctantly collected the bribe. And he was happy he would pay the school fees of his daughter. As he was counting the money, he received a phone call from the school where his daughter attends, saying that Boko Haram people have come and killed his daughter in the school. He was counting the money to pay for the same daughter's school fees that the same Boko Haram people he allowed to pass have went and killed the same daughter. That's ethical dilemma. Poverty sometimes comes in our way to become ethical. So poverty is the origin of every menace you see in this country. Ask yourself as an individual. But let me tell you, ethical leadership cannot just come by itself. We have to have champions. We have to have great people, institutions that will create what is this ethical leadership? What are the lists of this code of conduct that we must uphold? Enforce it. Because even in my school, if you ask children between money and happiness, which one will you choose? All of them, they will choose money, not happiness. So how we do one thing is how we do every other thing. And everything comes with reason. If you don't have a reason, we're not going to do it. Don't build roads. Don't build skyscrapers. Don't build infrastructure. Build minds. Build consciousness. Build ethical values. And the responsible agents are our families. Everything you see in society is a blame, is a fault of the family. Every problem starts from the family. I want to expand on this, but of course, because of time, I don't want to spend more time. But family institutions, schools, religious institutions, religious leaders, social leaders, civil society organizations, we are responsible. And we have to come out with this list. Motivate young people to invite it. Report when they do good things. And punish them when they don't do the good things. And enforce it. And be the example of what ethical leadership is to your family, if you are a leader, to your followers. So in the end, I want to congratulate his Abakar Sambo for all what she has done, for putting these things together, and reminding us that we are as strong as the strength of our ethical values. So everyone should live here with one pledge, that I will be ethical. Because you just mentioned one sentence at the beginning, which says, Ushobora Kubikora. Let's sing it again. Ushobora Kubikora. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for Professor. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the past 40 minutes or more, we are back in class, where we are with an eloquent professor delivering on facts. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying that where there is no sweet breeze, there is bound to be nightmare. Where there is no altitude, there can't be no latitude. Where there is no progression, there must be depression. And where there is no vision, the people perished. Your Excellency, with people like Professor Haja Balkisu, the society will never perish, inshallah. So please, another round of applause for the convener. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, quickly, we are going to showcase a video showing the Ethical and Moral Rejuvenation Center initiated by Hajia Balkisu, and it's just a 2-minute documentary presentation before we quickly move and round it up, inshallah. So I don't know from out there if you're ready.
Good morning, Eunice.
Good morning, Ahmed.
Every new day brings another chance to do something meaningful.
And every great journey begins with one step. Everyone seems to have somewhere important to be.
Maybe they're all chasing the same thing, a better future.
Then I hope we find a way to be part of it.
We will. This is impressive.
I think we're in the right place.
Welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to EMRC. Welcome to EMRC. We're happy you're here. Please come with me.
Did all these young people begin here?
They did. Every one of them arrived with a dream and left with a purpose. I hope one day we can inspire others. That is exactly why this center exists. Please, make yourselves comfortable. Today's lesson isn't about becoming important. It's about becoming responsible.
I think we're exactly where we're meant to be.
Before we teach leadership, tell me, what do you think a leader is?
Someone people choose to follow.
A good beginning. But before people follow a leader, they must first trust the person. What makes a leader? Someone people can trust. Exactly. Trust comes before leadership. Every day, life gives us a choice to do what's easy or what's right. People may forget your words, but they'll always remember your example. A leader doesn't ask, who will help me? A leader asks, who can I help? Our lessons don't end here. They begin out there.
I'm ready to learn more.
So am I. No one succeeds alone.
Even leaders?
Especially leaders.
Knowledge opens doors. Character keeps them open.
Doing the right thing isn't always the easiest choice, but it's always the best choice. You've taken your first step. Now, let's learn how great citizens build great nations.
Tell me, who builds a nation? All of us, exactly. We all expect good leadership, but what does our nation expect from us?
To be responsible citizens.
Change doesn't always begin in government. Sometimes it begins with us. A strong nation needs two things:
Responsible citizens.
and responsible leadership. Serving others is one of the highest forms of leadership. Anyone can make a difference. A better nation starts with better choices. Let's be part of that change.
Welcome. This is where questions become solutions.
So, every great idea starts here.
Good research should improve people's lives.
And every idea should have a purpose.
Research begins with curiosity, and the answers help people. Innovation isn't just about new ideas.
It's about improving lives.
Technology is powerful. Use it to build, not to harm. Every click has a purpose. Knowledge has value only when it serves people. Then let's create solutions that make a difference. Welcome. This is where ideas become opportunities.
There's so much to learn here.
A skill is an investment in yourself.
And it can help others too.
A good business solves a real problem. That's how communities grow. The best ideas grow through teamwork.
Together, we can do even more.
Remember, your greatest asset is what you've learned. Now it's our turn to put it into action.
This is where learning becomes service. This is where we can make a real difference. Every community needs people who care.
Then let's be those people.
This is leadership. Service brings people together. Real change begins with people, and it grows one life at a time. Your actions speak louder than words.
We're just getting started.
Thank you for serving with integrity. This is only the beginning.
Welcome to the center. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, Ma. This center was created to help young people grow
So we can make a difference.
in your community and beyond. Integrity begins with everyday choices. One good choice can inspire another. The future of our nation is sitting in this room.
Then our journey is only beginning.
So many people came for one purpose, because building a nation takes all of us.
Distinguished guests, welcome. Today, we begin a shared journey towards building a nation of integrity. Our nation grows stronger when integrity becomes a way of life. Together, we can shape a better future. Every lasting change begins with knowledge.
These guides are for every generation.
Together, let us launch a new chapter. 3, 2, 1. Today, we unveil more than a center. Today, we welcome a new generation of leaders.
Together, let us serve with integrity. We will lead with honesty. We will serve with responsibility. We will be examples in our communities.
Tonight, we celebrate those who lead by example. Integrity deserves recognition. Real change begins with the people.
And every act of integrity builds a stronger nation. This conference may be ending, but the mission continues.
We'll carry it into our schools, our communities, and our future.
A better nation begins with us. Integrity is our
Thank you. If I would join Prof. could be Cora. we can do it. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I please seek the indulgence of the chairman of the occasion that the last phase of the first session requires some small amendments in terms of the program of event. And with your permission, the chairman of this occasion, some amendments have been made and we are going straight to implement because of time, most especially the representative of His Excellency and Speaker and our Royal Highnesses that are here. So we want to try as much as possible to increase our speed so that the first session will be run up before we take our lunch and tea break as well. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I invite Hajia Hadiza Abdullahi quickly to, in 2 minutes, to please give us an overview of the book, may I also please acknowledge the presence of Malama Joelia, one of the popular ethical societal reorienter, popularly in the social media. Malama, you are most welcome. So quickly, please, Hajia Hadiza Abdullahi, Ma, you have 2 minutes to please enlightened because we are going for good launch. And the movers and shakers of the state we have to hand over the mic to them. So we want them to have a brief overview of what is contained in the book before we invite them to the podium. Just 2 minutes. And in absentia, I think we can move on. Please, a round of applause for Haja Hadiza. In 2 minutes, he's going to give us an overview of the book that is about to be launched, inshallah. All the way from United Kingdom, just to honor this program. Please, let's appreciate her once again.